All right. People, good people, welcome. The party starts at 8, so y'all know what time it is. It is time for Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 174. All righty. I am currently putting the link in our comment section. I haven't sent it yet, but I'm putting it there because tonight we are going to do a recap of Elimination Chamber. WWE returned to Chicago in high fashion to the United Center. It had been 20 years, I want to say, to the day that WWE last threw an event at the United Center. So we're going to go over that. We're going to get a grade rating for each match at Elimination Chamber tonight. I want to put KG to the chest to do something different on the episode, all right? To go along with our weekly recap of the week in wrestling. And I got a heated roundtable question. Not necessarily heated, but got a question. So we'll see how that goes. KG, man, hold on one second. Let me get your intro right here.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
KG, talk to him.
I'm just going to put it out there. I feel like Dominic Mysterio versus Penta should have been hair versus mask. And by hair versus mask, I mean putting his damn mustache on the line. It got to go, man.
It's got to go. He's had it long enough. All right, comment section. I have the link in there. Let's see. KG, I got no disagreement with you there, man. I do have an interesting question that will be part of the heated roundtable discussion about those two gents. But before we do that, let me go ahead and do this right here.
It's Big Oos, Old Man Logan, acknowledging.
All right. Good people. Thank y'all who do tune in every single week that we do this here podcast called Hot Take Wrestling. Couple of news points here. People, I don't want to get y'all too excited. I'm not going to make the announcement just yet, but I definitely think I found the venue for our watch party for SummerSlam. I definitely think I found it. I was there yesterday. Looks pretty nice. Very nice place. And they already do wrestling themed events there, so more details to come on that. But also,
you want to scores?
You just threw me off my square. No squares, KG. No squares.
Silver dollar. All right. Now let me let you. No. Go ahead. Money in the bank. Silver dollar.
But a couple of things, man. Working on the website, the web store for Hot Take Wrestling. So if you guys want to purchase T-shirts, I'm looking at some hat designs as well. So we are trying to, build this thing up and make it more of, just get to see if the people want to rock some Hot Take gear. We know how to design some things, make some nice stuff, some nice catchphrases and whatnot, so that's coming very soon. But I definitely think I got the venue, so more to come there. Website is coming soon. Make sure y'all following us on social media. Make sure you're following the new Hot Take page at HTWP_HTAD on Instagram. All right, and we are rocking and rolling as y'all saw. The old theme is back in effect, so hopefully we don't get any more flags. Love the Busta Rhymes track, but hey, it had to go. All right, so from that, KG, I got an icebreaker question for you tonight. All right, let me pull this up really quickly. All right, 4 tables. You got 3 stars from the wrestling world, from WWE more specific. And you got to pick the table that you want to go sit at. All right. So table 1, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss. Table 2, John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge. Table 3, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. Table 4, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Tony Khan. Which table are you picking, Kate?
First of all, I'm not picking the last one because one of those dudes is giving Virgos a bad name. Uh, Also, one's a con man. Uh, the last one was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. But at the same time, I mean, the other two just no. Number one, I'm probably get kicked out because I'm gonna get drunk and try to shoot my shot. So no, that's a no. Um, no, number three, I don't want to have to sit in between Mox and Triple H, because if they 3 and 4, then he gonna get into it with him, be like, man, I'm the only person from the show you didn't put over. Think about that. I don't have to break up no fights. So that leaves with number two. Cena, Orton, and Edge. Orton, I made the case. I think I took the side of Cena being the quote unquote, the goat of his generation. I was more of a fan of Orton, but I'm just talking about from a business acumen. I had to say Cena type thing, but big fans. Well, Cena grew on me. Uh, First, I wasn't a fan. They came in that prototype, whatever Star Ray was trying to do with him. Was not a
Mm-hmm.
fan of that. Orton, I think I enjoyed his run with Evolution, obviously, and then you saw the transformation from that to the Legend Killer, the whole angle. I definitely got into that. '09
Mm-hmm.
Orton just punting people all over the place. At the time, I was still in the transition of like, man, do I favor the Bay face is still one of the heels? At that point, I already knew my K favor on that. That was '09, so early 20s at
Mm-hmm.
that point. So, and Edge, you know what? Obviously, he was a big part of that Attitude Era that saved WrestleMania 16 because it wasn't for that triple threat ladder match. I think they would have still considered one of the worst WrestleManias, but obviously that stole the show, and those TLC matches
Mm-hmm.
just classics. And then just he defined Money in the Bank for a little while. He's the first person you had
Mm-hmm.
to look out for with these cash-ins. He was the first person ever to do the two-time cash-in as well. So definitely would like to sit down and pick their brains because there were also three guys that are synonymous with each other in terms of feuds too. So just get their perspective of how they went about what their plan was, if it was a long-term angle they had to work out, or whether or not it was going to be a short-term program, something like that. With the
Mm-hmm.
talents that they end up facing. So.
Got it. Got it. Gonna say shout out real quick to It's Your Boy Clipped. What's going on? KG, I'm sure this is a new one for you, buddy. The guy on the right looks like LeBron James.
The last time somebody said that it was at a local bar that allowed kids in there, and I got his mom's
Uh,
number out of spite.
so you've heard this before?
Yeah, I think it's
Oh
kind of.
wow.
I personally think it's kind of racist, but
I mean, depending on who it's coming from, right?
that's still kind of racist. There's self hating Stephen A. Smith.
Oh wow. But
There's self hating black people. What was that? What was that? Funkadactyl said she owned a black man or whatever.
and she
Yeah.
shortly after that was removed from WWE television. Yeah, she's still out there
Sta-
wrestling.
Stacey Dash hating ass.
Yeah. Well, it's no surprise here to me, man. to continue with the icebreaker, I'm picking the same table. I'm picking table number 2. I know. Who would have thunk it? I wouldn't pick the table that the Tribal Chief is at, right? But I honestly, when I got back into wrestling, my whole thing, I missed a majority of the Ruthless Aggression era. So I had just, this is, I don't even want to say when this was, the years. I can't think of the exact year timeline, but I was working a job where I was missing Monday Night Raw. I wasn't seeing any wrestling pretty much. And I kind of said, you know what? I'm going to get back into wrestling. And I want to say the year was maybe 2008. And John Cena had just came over from SmackDown with the championship. I think Batista went over to SmackDown as their champion. And I think at the time, ironically, WWE SmackDown was showing on
That was
WGN.
Yeah, that was they were on UPN, right?
No, they had made the move. So when I started,
CW.
yeah, it was on. This was before it was CW. It was still WB.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was WGN. It was WGN. Like they weren't even. If a Cubs game was on, they were showing the Cubs game. They wasn't showing.
Yeah.
But they were on WGN television here in Chicago, and I just said, hey, I said I'm going to make the effort to get back into professional wrestling because I always loved it since a kid. But he was the champion upon my return. Obviously, Randy Orton became one of my favorites. I was very excited to see him win at the Elimination Chamber to go on to be the person to face Drew McIntyre if he holds on to the title. That is, But and Edge, of course, like you said, man, you got two of Cena's greatest opponents, greatest, adversaries. You talk about great storylines, great feuds, great matches at that table. So a lot of storytelling, a lot of memories between them guys being shared, and you can share in that camaraderie a lot of wrestling knowledge that you can soak up from that particular table. So that would be my pick as well. And just those are some of my favorite guys. Like, Cena just retired. So you're talking about a guy who was the face of the place, who went through trials and tribulations to finally receive the respect of the fans. You know what I mean? Even the people that didn't care for him were cheering for him toward the end because it's like, yo, this guy has been just a staple on WWE television forever. And to see him, have his magnum opus, it was just kind of like, oh wow, it was just a surreal moment. But yeah, man, that would be my table I would pick as well. So I'll try to keep those going, man. I'm gonna see if I can find some more of those as we go along. But I thought that would be a nice way. I've actually had that in the tuck for a while. Every time we get to doing the show, I forget to do it. So tonight we finally got it done. So that being said, man, you ready to get into this weekly recap?
Yep.
All righty, here we go.
And now your week in review.
KG, before you start, I'm just so confused watching AEW Dynamite as we record because I'm like, when did the Young Bucks become uber baby faces?
About a month, maybe 2 months ago, because they decided they were basically doing almost like the broke Baron Corbin angle in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they were supposed to win $1 million or something. They won a 6-man tag against Kenny Omega and Jungle Express. I think that's what they call Jurassic Express. Sorry.
Jurassic Express. Yeah.
And then they were leaving, and then the Onkyle's family basically was trying to do a beat down on Kenny, and that's when they turned back babies.
Got it. Okay. Because I see they're kind of feuding right now with FTR, and I was just wondering, like, when did they become baby faces?
Yeah, I want to say it was closer to 2 months ago then, because I think that was actually on a pay-per-view. Because they've been doing their pay-per-views more often now, but I still want to say it was around closer to 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, sorry about that.
No worries. It kind of ties in AEW because we really don't. Because I know they got Revolution coming up, so probably do our predictions next week for that one. I think that's 15th. So, Drew McIntyre he's running wild, man. I don't know what's funnier between him and everybody dressing up in these black hoodies because they all over the place now. You got the copycat. Seth Rollins came back, so we saw that. So my prediction was correct. It just was Logan Paul instead of Braun Breaker. I did predict that Seth Rollins was going to show up at Elimination Chamber and curb stomp. somebody from the division, but like I said, with that injury, just happened to be somebody different because I guarantee you that was the plan. Had Braun Breaker, the contingency plan was Bronson Reed. Hopefully, they all get
Mm-hmm.
well soon. I'm pretty sure you would do that same angle with him. Now, my only question is, do we get? Assuming Seth is cleared, I'm sure he is. Do we get that rematch of WrestleMania 39, or do they go a different route and you get Austin Theory? I'm pretty sure they'll go with Logan Paul. Then
Definitely.
again, but then again, while we're so harping on most of us are harping, assuming it's going to be Oba that answers Brock Open challenge. Now you got Brock to have some incentive to want some revenge for Paul Heyman because the curb stomp and the chair shot from Seth, and it's been about 7 years since we got Seth and Brock, so they might
That's
have
a
to do
good
some.
point.
So I think Wrestling or SummerSlam 2019 was the last time. That's when they were feuding over the
Mm-hmm.
Universal title. They did that street fight, the main event. I think it was in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So because they might just have to do some audibles now. Because like I said, the original plan was allegedly Seth versus Roman because they never had a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. And then I think Cody versus Punk was supposed to be the plan for the WWE Championship. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's confirmed or not.
I heard the same rumor too. Yeah.
Yeah, so um, because if they do take the title out, you just get to Cody and Randy, they could have just left the title on Randy because we saw that Nick Aldis was not happy and he booked that World WWE Championship match for this Friday. Uh, I don't think Cody gets the title back. I think uh, something weird's gonna happen. I don't know how we get because Jacob Fatu keeps getting screwed because he got screwed on Friday to qualify for the chamber against Logan Paul. Bro, we might end up getting like a fatal four way or something at this point. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know how you get to that. It kind of sucks for Orton to survive that grueling chamber match. And I know Logan Paul got the most eliminations. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he had 3 eliminations. So I don't know how you get there, but we might end up with some type of fatal four way.
So let
It's
me
it,
run this by you real quick before you continue. So
yeah,
I saw something on sports. What is it called? Sports Skeeter or something like that. It's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
wrestling, you know what I mean, website. And they said the reasoning or a reasoning rumor that's out there, because I don't know how truthful it may be or not, but they're saying that the reason they took the title off of Cody Rhodes initially when Drew McIntyre won it was to have him included in the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber to basically help sell tickets. Because if he's the champion, then obviously he doesn't necessarily have to have a match. Because as we saw, both champions do not have matches at these events. It's like one or the
Right.
other. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So they were saying, okay, this is the reasoning, part of the reasoning why. But I had initial reports I heard where they were just kind of like, we wanted to give Cody a little bit of time off, just had another kid, so he hadn't really had any time at home, so they wanted to give him a quick little vacation, so to speak, and then he could return afterward. Um, but I wanted to run that by you and get your thoughts, which sounds more likely, you know what I mean, to you as far as what could have actually took place.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna dub somebody as QB1, aka Tom Brady or someone, some type of vibes, you kind of do need that face available on the card. And plus, if they wanted Sammy in Saudi Arabia, obviously get his WWE Championship match, you don't want Cody getting booed. I wouldn't have been mad at Sammy and Cody, but at that same point, what I'm thinking is, uh, because Cody, I think they said it's been like 12 years since Cody been inside Elimination Chamber. Granted, he's gone for 5 or 6 years, so or longer
Mm-hmm.
than yeah. So I mean, take that with a grain of salt in terms of how long he's been when they throw those numbers out there. But I'm also thinking to the standpoint, I would like to see something done different with the Rumble. I wouldn't mind them. You know how they always do the crown jewel instead of just giving them, maybe one year you do champion versus champion. Maybe that loser has to put up his title inside the Royal Rumble. I don't know, do something different. Because what
Right.
is exactly does that do? You get some championships you carry around for one night.
Right, right.
Do some bragging rights where it's like, and you don't have to do it every year, but maybe switch that up. Same for the women, like maybe do something like that. If the loser of that champion versus champion has to put her title up in the Royal Rumble or something like that. I don't know.
Right, right.
Or at Elimination Chamber. You don't necessarily do it. Well, yeah, maybe the loser loses, go to. But now then you got to push that back too far because I think they normally do Royal Rumble closer to towards that. But I don't know. This is something a little different. And speaking of World Championships, I saw some note. They said this is the first time in about 10 years that one of the four horsewomen, that being Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha, and obviously Sasha's been gone for 4 years, and Bailey does not have
Mhm.
a world championship match at WrestleMania. That one of them doesn't. This is the first time in like 10 years.
I saw that. I saw that.
So at least on
If
the
we were
women's,
to,
go
if
ahead.
we were to crown a second coming of the four horsewomen, right, in WWE, who would that all be? Who would be that? Like Rhea, obviously,
Bianca,
obviously, but who would be the other two?
who has been pushed lately,
Or just
Liv,
in general, who's been
Liv,
okay?
and Asuka. Even though she's had terrible success at WrestleMania, she is a 4 or 5 time women's world champion.
Mm-hmm.
She's a 4 time women's world champion. I think she's a 5 time tag champion. So yeah, you definitely gotta say it would have been Asuka.
Oh
Although
yeah, you definitely got that.
although Asuka came up around that time, is the same time as them. If you look outside of those four, that's been the one who's had the most success. So I don't know if you want to put Asuka in that class necessarily
Mm-hmm.
because she came up around the same time as they did.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely Bianca, Rhea, and Liv. The fourth one, I'm trying to think, would there be a fourth one that's outside of there? Like I said, Asuka, based on the accomplishments, I would say Asuka, but also the oldest people got called up later, though, too, though. Like, well, no,
Mm-hmm.
Liv was around because Liv was in Riot Squad.
Yeah, I'm
So
thinking if you didn't say
because she had been
Oscar or
around.
Liv, yeah, if you didn't say Oscar or Liv, you could probably make a case. And I know you don't hate me for this, but success wise, in terms of holding women championship and the tag titles, I was gonna say maybe Nia Jax.
I don't hate you for it. I just don't think she's done enough to put her as the face of, those pillars, basically. Because those other four
Mm-hmm.
accomplished more than her.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, and then she's also been released too. I don't think you're a pillar when you've been released unless it's been, for like drug violations.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to
And
put
that's
her in
what I
that
said because
category.
she's not too far under there, but like that's what I'm saying. Depending on who you ask, the case
Mm,
possibly to be made for her. I would think at least for
a
me,
case can
I'm
be,
rocking the four that you said.
yeah, a case can be made, but I'm forgetting somebody. I was seeing a case you made. Somebody just slipped my mind. I guess because they didn't really push her enough. You can't say Natty. I was gonna say Natty, but they didn't push her
Mm-hmm.
enough. She could have been. Yeah, I guess you would have to go with. Now I would get an honorable mention just by default though, because I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to. Oh, Alexa,
Alexa Bliss, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
because
one.
she didn't really start getting pushed. I mean, granted, she still was around too. So I guess it all depends on when you want to say. I guess what you because if you say second coming, they'd have to be at least X amount of years removed from their call ups. Because all of them got called up in 2015 slash
Mm-hmm.
2016. I think Bailey got called up in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think Asuka would fall in that category because her call up was around 2018, right? Because she won the Women's Royal Rumble, but I think she debuted because she beat Emma, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a late 2017 though. Could be.
Mm-hmm.
So
We'd have to fact check to be sure, but
yeah, I
I
want to
think
say
that's
that's
about
like
right.
right. I think that's because this right around the time Emma got released too. They did a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
releases.
Yeah.
Um, but one
So
other thing,
live could be. I mean, depending on which one you would want to say there, I think maybe live could be interchangeable with Alexa Bliss. Um, or yeah, because Liv had to get it out the mud. Like she really had to like earn her keep and her stripes, to get to where she is today. So I really don't want to take that away from her. But all of those women that you mentioned, they definitely, you know what I mean, earned that place. Like you said, these are pillars, and those women definitely current day are pillars of WWE programming when it comes to the women's on SmackDown or on Raw.
yeah, it was. And speaking of the women, we got, and this could come as no surprise. We were having not a debate or anything. We were both, just wondering was Rhea gonna pull double duty. So now we got new tag team champions. So that was a sign right there for me. I was gonna pick Rhea regardless for the
Mhm.
chamber. But the fact that they dropped the titles kind of sucks for Io because now we don't know if they're gonna do anything with her at WrestleMania. We could always get a multi-woman match. But they did announce there's gonna be a gauntlet match to see who's gonna face AJ Lee for the Intercontinental Championship. I wouldn't mind a multi-woman match though, because AJ still looked crisp though in the ring. We'll get
Mhm.
into, like you said, we'll get into the grades later, but she looked solid. So it didn't look like it was any. It looked like it was one spot, but they didn't know what they wanted it quite to do, what to do. But it didn't look like it was a botch.
Yeah.
It was more like like I think he was getting ready to charge Becky, or they just wanted to make sure they got that spot on because you don't want to do something and then it turns into a botch. But it didn't look like it was any uh, for somebody for that first singles match in 11 years,
Mhm.
looks solid. For me, women's elimination chamber, I'm gonna go a B. I just thought they could have been a little bit longer because they only got about 20 minutes. I thought
Mhm.
Raquel definitely looked the most imposing and dominant in there. Kiana James had a great showing. Because I didn't really catch a lot of her in NXT because I stopped watching it once they transitioned from the black and gold brand.
She didn't really, like, from when I was watching. She didn't really do a whole lot down there. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I just seen every single
Yeah,
she took place in. She more was like a henchwoman, more than anything while she was down there. But
right.
when they announced her to be part of the Elimination Chamber, I said, okay, hopefully this is a spot for her where she can kind of show and prove, and this can be like a place for her, for it to kind of be like, all right, y'all, now watch it. Let's see what happens with her. I know there was a thing when they said she had like some type of wardrobe malfunction. Excuse me, wardrobe malfunction. But I didn't catch part of that, but it was an emphasis on that on Saturday and Sunday, and when I was just kind of like reading reviews and stuff in reference to Elimination Chamber. But I was definitely happy to see her have a decent showing in it for sure.
Hey, popping out has more meanings than one.
So be
Uh,
great for the women's Elimination Chamber.
yeah, and then too, well, I think Kiana also took the tag titles down in NXT. I forgot who our partner was. I believe they did say she was a former tag team champion. AJ and Becky. I'm gonna go again with a B. As I said, for me to give an A after like, I mean, we can go -2, I guess, but I just want to get flat grades. You know, I'm you get pass, fail. I'm just joking. No, I thought, like I said, for AJ to be our first singles match, only our third match in the last 10 plus years at that, not even just singles match. I thought her and Becky told a good story. I was a little surprised. I think I did have Becky winning that just because I thought they would do a rematch at Mania to capitalize on that star power. And they still could do that, but my thought process was they didn't want Becky to basically look like they were doing the Cody and Seth thing, which they basically are doing from 2022. It was like, well, Seth could not get that W. I'm just not a big fan of that to a degree because you don't want to make it the heel look like they're chasing and turn into the baby face. But I thought, and she made her tap out again too. That's the third time in that. So it was like they didn't even. I mean, I know that was always her finisher was a submission, but I thought maybe they could have just set up the rematch. But I said B
Hmm.
because, like I said, just when I say A, I have to think it's an all-time classic, and it was still a very good match. My highest rated would probably be Balor and Punk, just from a physicality standpoint. So I guess
Hmm.
I would give a B plus to that. So I did say I wasn't going to do pluses and minuses, but I was happy with that match. Finn looked like the threat he was supposed to look like. Came out hungry. Did it on his own too. That's another thing. And then I was just a little surprised that there was no angle where Judgment Day turned on him. I guess they're going to build up to that.
Or
The,
hold up, I could see them maybe doing it at Mania or something. So it's like
yeah,
kind of thing.
the men's chamber. I was a little disappointed, man. I don't know. I can't describe what exactly it was. I guess I give that like a B minus. I
Mm.
understood that. Well, because I only say that not because of the execution or anything like that. I'm more so disappointed that they didn't do something fresh, something new. More along the lines of I feel like Javon Evans or Trick Williams should have been in that final two or three and they won.
Hmm.
It just would have been, hey, okay, we really are committed. I mean, granted, you're in the main event. Trick Williams has been part of the main event the last three premium live events, but I think it would just show they're fully committed to, and just give somebody like, are they really going to do this? I mean, the hell, Santino Morella, no offense, can be in the final two of an elimination chamber for a world championship. Trick, Trick Willie or Javon Evans should have been probably in that final two or three, or even LA Knight too. Somebody that clearly was, because the two most over, I feel like coming out by fan reaction was LA Knight and Trick Williams for sure. Just a little disappointed too that either one of those three. I understand there was only 6 people in the match, but I
Hmm.
think that would have been a huge thing if either one of those two, more so Trick Williams. I think he is a little bit more ready
Hmm.
ju- in terms of more so because they don't have a lot of heels ready right now to get pushed. So, the babyface side is heavier in that aspect. And then, like I said, LA Knight just because he's a not just a sentimental favorite. The dude's been grinding for a while and
Hmm.
consistently been one of the more over guys they have. So, um, those are my grades, man.
All right, good grade. So overall, you giving the elimination chamber PLE a B?
Yeah, I would
It's
say
safe to
that.
say.
Yeah,
Okay. And the women continue to show improve and show out in terms of having better showings than the men in these events. I do, that was one thing with the Royal Rumble. I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if WWE will ever have the guts to let the women close out the show, like to let the women's Royal Rumble be the main event as opposed to always opening. You know,
yeah, they did it the first year, and then ever since, I don't remember the last time. And I don't know if they
it's,
did
it's
that
it,
because it was the inaugural. It might have been two things: the inaugural one, and then Ronda Rousey
mhm,
debuted at that Rumble. So I
mhm.
think it was twofold reasons why. Ever since then, you're right. I don't think they've closed with the women because Seth, that was that when he won, that was it in 2019. Drew 2020, that was it. 2021, I believe Edge winning was, yeah, that was the main event.
Mhm.
Uh, Brock winning, yeah, that closed it because he had dropped the WWE Championship earlier that night to Bobby Lashley.
Mhm.
So who was the 2023 winner?
Jay Uso, wasn't it? Or
No, no, 2023. Oh,
uh,
Cody,
Cody. Yeah.
because he won back to back. Yep, he closed both nights.
Mhm.
Him winning the Rumble closed both nights, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm. So yeah, I'm there with you. I think a B is a solid. Even though a lot of people said they didn't really, not necessarily that they didn't like the Elimination Chamber. It's just I guess a lot of people because you got a lot of casual fans that were tuning in for that. And when you think of the Elimination Chamber, people are thinking of like blood and
Yeah, yeah,
the physicality of it all, and you didn't really get that this time around.
yeah.
Um,
The closest you had was Tiffany Stratton having that busted mouth from that not even Alabama Slam. It was just like a kind of like the reverse, not a, like a lecture chair,
mm-hmm,
but she had slam
mm-hmm.
face first. Yeah,
So that I think when they think of those type of gimmick matches, that's what they're waiting on. And I was telling somebody at work, I said, well, they don't really blade anymore. I'm like, it's kind of shied away from now. So it's like, if you really see somebody busted open, it's 9 times out of 10 on WWE product at least, because I know on AEW you might still get some people that blade, but
yeah,
on WWE television, they really got busted open. If it happens there, like it's a rarity that you really see like the blood aspect anymore. Um, but that being said, man, now that we've done that, that's the Elimination Chamber. You went over the week, right?
yeah. The only thing I think I did not touch on, we got a new Intercontinental Champion in Penta. I'm a little surprised they pulled the trigger so early because I thought they would carry that out. To your point that you put in our
Yeah.
chat on Facebook.
Well, hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah, because that's going to be the heated roundtable question I was going to ask you. So hold on to that one. But I did want to just mention, you made mention of this. I'm glad you did. So Trick Williams has been a part of Saturday Night Main Event. He's been a part of the Royal Rumble. And now he's been a part of Elimination Chamber. And as I saw that, I thought my petty side came out, the little devil on my shoulder. And it was like, boy, your former co-host. That guy would be furious right now at how WWE is pushing him. And I'll be honest, I think he's just being petty, and it's just because he took the nickname Willie. That's all. I think it's really all it was. I don't think he had no other reason to not like, you know what I'm saying, Trick Williams. I digress, though.
Yeah. Nah, for sure.
All right, so let me load up the heat roundtable, and we will go in depth on that Penta conversation real quick.
Ooh, the round table's getting heated. Heated round table.
All right, KG. So to go with what you were saying just a second ago, there has been a lot of talk about Penta becoming new IC champion on Monday Night Raw, dethroning Dominic Mysterio, and ending his double champ run, right? So a lot of the questioning, I've seen it on the IC internet wrestling community. You know what I mean? IWC, I've seen it, with people in our groups kind of discussing it. And I think it's a 50-50, maybe 60-40. I think a lot of people, given what we saw on Unreal, this latest season of it, and how Paul Heyman was just like literally begging them to push Penta because of how over he was. I think a lot of people have been pro Penta in this scenario and have wanted to see him be utilized a little bit more than he has been. Not that WWE doesn't treat him like the star that he is, because Penta's a bona fide star. Like when AEW, we talked about this in nauseum when we first started Hot Take. Like him and Ray Phoenix were two of the guys that I was tuned in to AEW for. Like, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people was talking about Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody, et cetera, but I really, when I got a glimpse of those guys, I was like, oh man, who are they and where have they been this entire time I've been watching wrestling? You know what I mean? So fast forward to Monday, Penta becomes new Intercontinental Champion. I ask you, and I'll give my 2 cents really quickly. Do I think they pulled the trigger prematurely? No. I think this was them kind of just trying to catch up and trying to kind of appease fans to an extent. Now, could you had held on to this, maybe built this a little bit more for the coming weeks for this to be a clash, you know what I mean? And you get Dominic versus Penta at WrestleMania? Sure, you could have did that, but who's to say they would have gotten the time they needed to really tell their story in the ring and to make it a memorable, you know what I mean, match. So I think that's how you end up, because we don't know what the WrestleMania plans are just yet. It's still kind of coming to a head, you know what I mean? But I do think, all right, at least in this particular scenario, how it ended up, the result we got, I think, all right, cool. You make a lot of fans happy with Penta become a champion now. Dominic Mysterio, now this kind of has me wondering what they're going to do with him, because it looks like Finn's getting ready to separate from Judgment Day. Do you have Finn go after the AAA championship? Like, is that a possibility? I didn't necessarily think about that title, but given that WWE has purchased AAA and they're making a push to have AAA become a relevant show in the States, you know what I mean, trying to secure TV rights and all that good stuff, maybe you can see Finn maybe doing some stuff on AAA. So what is some of your thoughts, man?
I only thought it was a little premature because the thing about Dom's title run was obviously they let him drop it late last year. So Cena could complete the Grand Slam before he retired. I thought after that, with them getting it back in its own time to San Diego, they would keep on them until Mania, just from a standpoint that everybody doesn't have to have their WrestleMania moment, quote unquote. But once they kept having Penta go after it, I figured it was going to be him to dethrone him eventually because, like I said, I think maybe a couple months ago, with the reactions as Dom is getting, there are not too many babyface talents that could have defeated him for that championship and got the type of pop that Penta got because Dom is starting to get super over.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the thing too. They didn't want to keep it on and keep it on and keep it on with these reactions because for the most part, there's still been some towns that have, that are occasionally booing him. That's only though when he's out there with Liv though. It's not when he's really out there by himself doing his own thing. But then after that, I'm thinking, all right, do you keep it on him for Finn to take it off of him? Do you have Dom just do a hostile takeover of the Judgment Day? Because at the time Finn tried to act like the leader, Liv tried to act like the leader. That's where I thought they were gonna go. That's my only gripe with it. Other than that, I'm fine doing the title change on Raw before WrestleMania. I just thought they changed their plans based on the angle they were been running the last month, where Finn is basically saying he wants to do on his own, and Dom needs to step up and do things on his own. And that's not to say we still won't get Dom versus Finn. I just thought maybe it doesn't need to be for a title. Maybe they push this all the way out. Who knows how long they can push this back to? I don't think it'll push all the way out to the summer. I was thinking maybe Finn could get pushed off the ladder, going for Money in the Bank or something like that, and Dom could get the briefcase. So I think Dom or Logan Paul's getting the briefcase. But yeah, I'm fine with it where it happened. I just thought that it was done a different way than I expected. That's all. And once again, there's nothing wrong with that happening because Penta had came up short a couple times going after the IC title, going back to WrestleMania 41 last year, as well as a few times on Raw. I think he's had Intercontinental Championship matches and was unsuccessful. I think Dom used that hammer at 1.2 and stuff like that. So it's the classic babyface making the chase and getting the goal.
Exactly. I'm trying to think, is anything else I want to lead to that? Because I'll be honest, dude, I don't think at this point in the game you necessarily utilize Finn Balor, especially if you got him getting ready to depart Judgment Day in the mid card. I think it's time for him to really be a primetime player, a main eventer. You know what I mean?
You gonna team him up with Titus O'Neil and Darren Young?
Well, no, and nothing against Darren Young and Titus. Let them do whatever they're doing. But
I'm just saying, you said primetime play.
I mean, as far as
I know what you meant.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah.
I've said it before. I'll say it again, man. That Prince run, and I'm sure his run in New Japan was even bigger than what we saw as with him as the Prince or anything with the Demon. But I just really want to see him go ahead. If they're gonna have him deviate from Judgment Day and they're gonna have him back on his own, then yeah, let's go all out and let's use him as a main event guy. Whether that's on SmackDown or Raw remains to be seen. But I think this is one of the reasons why just early on there's a hint of doubt that Roman Reigns will defeat CM Punk at WrestleMania, at least for me. And speaking of that promo between the two of them, where we got the pipe bomb, possibly of all pipe bombs, for a lot of people. A lot of Samoans seemed upset. Zillify too. They showed, I guess they were doing like a live viewing of Raw, and Zilla was like, "Yo, I got to slap the shit out of CM Punk when I see him." I said that was a lot. It was him there with his family and stuff, and they were watching Raw. And when Punk dropped that, and was like, "I'm gonna bury you next to your father," it was like, "Oh, you should have saw the blood."
I'm surprised I didn't touch on that. They're completely that's good though. Somebody had to bring that up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. It's getting real picante.
Yeah,
Beyond picante, habanero.
for
Ghost
sure.
Pepper.
But can we still say CM Punk is still a baby face? Like, okay, he hasn't turned, right? But for me, I've never looked at CM Punk, to quote Steve Austin, as a quote unquote white meat baby face. I've always felt like CM Punk is a tweener. I've always felt that way about him. It's just the delivery, the bravado. You know, he go toe to toe. Even when he's supposed to be the baby face in the feud, it never comes off Daniel Bryan-esque. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't come off
That's
AJ
fair.
Styles. It doesn't come off Bret Hart. Like, it's not giving any of those guys or classic HBK when he's the baby face. Like, it's not giving any of that. So I've just felt like, and that's why I was just kind of like, I said this a while ago on the episode, and I was just like, what if CM Punk becomes the new face, the new leader of the Vision?
I think
And
if Punk,
go ahead.
I understand. I think if they align people around Punk, it will probably be, you probably get some Shield 2.0 thing. Because the last time that was another thing that's about this. You go back to that podcast. Yeah, Punk didn't want Roman in the Shield. He wanted Chris Hero.
Chris Hero, yep. Which
So
wouldn't have made any sense. Like, I said, which wouldn't have made any sense. Like,
well, I think it's because they were, they got a long
push
history.
Chris Hero.
But they got a long, but no. I mean, in terms of what the Shield was designed to be, yeah, for sure, I get that.
It wouldn't have made sense. Like, I get it. You want your friend to get a push. You want him to be utilized. I get that completely. You know, and that's not a dig at Chris Hero's ability, talent in the ring, any of that stuff, right? I'm just saying aesthetically for what the Shield was representing, and while these guys were and did become future faces of the company, Chris Hero was not going to fit in that equation for what he was supposed to have done, as opposed to having Roman there instead of Roman. Like, the only notable rumor that I did hear about somebody that could have been there as opposed to Roman Reigns was Big E. And for the whole physically imposing, titan of the group, I suppose that would have made some sense, but I think stylistically, the way who they paired, Jon Moxley, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, they put two indie guys, you know what I'm saying, that had a storied history in the indies, with a WWE, original, so to speak. That was gonna do nothing but help Roman, you know what I'm saying, in that case, in that scenario. So
no, absolutely. Yeah,
I just got a feeling, man. I'm just like, all right, we saw Paul do the double twist, you know what I mean, the double turn last year, and I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised if not necessarily a double turn this year, but him and CM Punk realigning for Paul, I guess, to double cross Roman Reigns again, or cost Roman Reigns the title again.
You can see that, or you can see. Trying to think somebody ain't really doing nothing with. That would be the most. If there was a turn, that'd be the most likely scenario. But at the same time, I think now with Seth being back, I think the Vision's gonna be too busy battling Seth to be adding Punk. I don't know, man, because
add Punk. That story's there too already. That just continues their story.
I mean, stranger things have happened. We saw Seth join up with Triple H and them like right after the Shield beat Evolution, which was kind of made zero sense. You would think that they failed against Evolution, and then he would be like, "Well, we couldn't beat them, so I might as well join them," as opposed to we could beat them, and now I'm joining them.
Exactly.
Or it made more sense to split the Shield up after they couldn't beat the Wyatts, because they lost to the Wyatts like almost every time they faced them, except for that one random episode of Main Event.
Mm-hmm.
They lost them at Stream or Elimination Chamber. They lost to him on Raw, I think. They lost to him, I think, one other time. Then they finally beat them. So that would have made more sense then. But
Was that Raw when everybody was like losing their shit? When it was the Shield on one side and the Wyatts on the other? I can't. I'm just kind of like trying to
I think
recall.
so. Yeah, yeah. They did
It
them.
was.
They did that match a couple of times. But yeah, Elimination
Mhm.
Chamber was the one that was like the standout, quote unquote, out of the series of matches they had.
Yeah, I just got sad all over again. I was so looking forward to a return to that feud with Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. Like, I really wanted to see the Fiend versus the Tribal Chief. Like, dude, I really wanted that, man. Just rest in peace, Bray Wyatt again.
No, absolutely. Because the funny thing is though about that is when they took the title off the Fiend and they were setting up for Roman like versus Goldberg, we still ended up getting that. But
Mhm.
I think if the pandemic and all that didn't happen, I think they still were gonna try to push Roman as a babyface. Because if they turned him against Goldberg, he would have got a huge pop. So that wouldn't have
Mhm.
came that turn wouldn't have came out the way they wanted it to come out. Because people were already pissed when Goldberg got the title off the Fiend.
Mhm.
So they if you turn Roman, they weren't gonna be happy. Now if they were smart, they would have been planning a double turn instead of taking the title off the Fiend. Because the
Right.
Fiend is what was already in that tweener space too in terms of the reaction. So they were smart. That's what they would have done. But that's not the here nor there because Roman didn't show up for WrestleMania 36 due to being immunocompromised because of COVID. So,
Because of COVID. Yeah. Yeah.
but like I said, they were still looked like they were trying to basically still push Roman as a babyface. I don't see how that would have did that turn with Goldberg. So it's like maybe that all worked out the end because I don't know how they would have turned Roman. Or they were gonna do that and then eventually turn like they did anyway. Maybe they're gonna have
Mhm.
Roman. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows? Before we close out, man, I want to do the TNA Impact results real quickly from February 26th. So people remember they're on AMC now, so you can watch that tomorrow. I have tried to do my due diligence to make sure I tune in. It's a lot of wrestling, man. I'm kind of getting to this point, KG. I don't know if you've done it as well, but I want to make a day just like my wrestling day where I could just kind of consume everything that one day and just like not do anything or just like get all of my errands out of the way and then come home and just just watch wrestling for the rest of the day. But let's see, February 26th episode, Nick and Ryan Nemeth defeated Mike Santana and Leon Slater. Danny Luna defeated Lee Ling. AJ Francis beat Mace Warner. Additionally, let's see, the System, Bear Bronson, Brian Myers, Cedric Alexander, and Eddie Edwards defeated the Hardys and the Righteous, while Alicia Edwards re-signed with the promotion. So that is, let's see, Jada Stone defeated Tasha Steelz as well. Trying to make sure I get some TNA talk in here before we get out of here. Um, NXT got to do the same. The results from yesterday. Okay, so Miles Bourne, NXT North American Champion, defeated Ethan Page in his rematch. So looks like we're gonna see Ethan Page get the call up real soon. Um, from there, let's see what else took place on NXT. We got the rivalry heating up with Jada Parker and Blake Monroe. I hate that name, man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, NXT, but y'all could have just let her kept her name. So they're leading up to a match. I want to say at Stand and Deliver, I think it is. Oh no, Vengeance Day. Vengeance Day. They're gonna have a street fight. Ren Sinclair defeated Nikita Lyons in a women's speed tournament. Silo Hill and Hank Take defeated the Vanity Project. It was a 6-man tag match. NXT Women's Champion JC Jane versus Aria ends in a no contest. NXT champion Joe Hendry undergoes an attack from Ricky Saints. That's leading up to a match at Vengeance Day as well for the NXT championship. So there we go. We got you guys your weekly dose of WWE television. Man, KZ, I'm trying to think, is it anything else? Next week, right, is the picks for AEW's Revolution. Anything AEW related that you want to discuss before we get ready to head on out of here for the night?
I'm surprised they actually gave him a world championship match. Kevin Knight, like I said, big things coming for him in the future. Normally they do the eliminator matches. I don't know what made them do an actual world championship match after they clearly just said that they went through the whole spiel of a face-to-face with Hangman and MJF. That was really weird. You would think they would have just did an eliminator match where, their non-title match and you win, challenger gets a future title match. Or, yeah, I don't know. That was a little weird, but other than that, I don't really have anything that really caught my eye AEW-wise. Nothing that really stood out as much because other than Swerve potentially versus Brody King, which should be, like I said, we were tired of the happy-go-lucky. You said you were tired of happy-go-lucky EO and Rhea. I was tired of happy-go-lucky Swerve. He wasn't happy-go-lucky, but I need scumbag Swerve back. That's what we're getting. So I mean, you can't have all the top guys. No FTR reference there, pun intended. You can't have everybody be baby faces. So, and Swerve is interchangeable. So I'm fine with that heel turn. We'll get the more aggressive Swerve back and see if that leads to another world title run. To see if this one will be as a heel. Because I was way more invested in, because MJF, bro, I mean, he has it in the ring and everything, character wise. I don't know, man. The spiel's getting old. I'd rather see heel Swerve get a run with the world title before I saw heel MJF with the title again. But yeah, I mean, granted, they did turn MJF babyface in the middle of his run last time, so we'll see.
And yeah, man, it looked like it was a decent card tonight. Like you said, MJF versus Kevin Knight, Tekla versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship. It was John Moxley versus Hichiro, Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors, the Brawling Birds versus the Inspiration. I thought the Inspiration, I do remember their contracts expiring in TNA, but I thought they would have re-signed. They had a pretty good run in TNA. But I guess they explored their options and they ended up in Atlanta TK. And there's supposed to be a promo by Hangman. As far as the Swerve thing goes, is this just me or is that giving you like flashes of Junkyard Dog, him running around with the extra big, chain, just attacking people and, kind of doing not an aggressive heel Junkyard Dog, but I remember back in the Indies, Junkyard Dog was a heel for the most, not a heel. Yeah, he was a heel. But when he came to WWE, WWF, they obviously made him a babyface. So I'm there with you though. I don't know if they're going to return to the well that quickly with Swerve becoming champion again. I do think once Kenny comes back, we'll probably get a rubber match between them. As long as it was as good as their match they had a couple weeks ago, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, other than that, I don't have too much else. So good people, I want to thank y'all for watching us tonight, tuning in to Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. Remember, the party starts at 8 p.m. every single Wednesday unless you get an alert or a message from myself, KG, or the rest of the good fellas of Hot Take Wrestling Podcast on social media that tells you we'll be coming another day. But usually the party starts here at 8, or unless we're on CP time, it starts a little later than 8. But yeah, every Wednesday you can check us out. Also, remember, you can listen to the episodes now on DSPs everywhere. So that means Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, just platforms of that sort. You can definitely get the audio companions of these video lives, and you can listen there if you don't have a chance to check us out right here on your computer screen, TV screen, your mobile device. You know, that was real old. But yeah, so I just want to thank y'all for tuning in and making sure you tune in how you tune in. We're on Twitch, we're on Kick, we're on YouTube, and you can also catch this on X streaming on Wednesdays as well. There won't be a Hot Take After Dark tonight, so you guys get a little break there. You got your boys right here. You got me and KG doing our best, KO and Sammy. Once again, another one is in the books. But yeah, so until next week, y'all be cool, y'all be smooth. This is Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. That's KG right there. And I'm Old Man Logan. And we will catch y'all next week.